Hi everyone, my name is Dorothy, the founder of Ada Arts. Thank you so much for purchasing your Paint Night in a Box kit. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to be teaching you a step-by-step tutorial of this exclusive painting. Thank you again for purchasing, and I hope you enjoy and have a great time. Make sure that you have all of these products. You want to make sure that you have 2 paintbrushes, you have all the colors necessary, which would be blue, black, brown, and green. Aside from the colors in the paintbrush, you also need a cup of water and any napkin to wipe off the paintbrush. Alright, so you should be looking at this right now. This is the outline that you should have. This is the hand, this is the body of the person. So the first thing we're going to start off with is the background. We're going to start off with a blue background for the sky. So you're going to dip your paintbrush into the paint. You want to fill it up as much like this, and you're going to fill it up from the top all the way to this area of the body. So you just want to make a line just so that you can know where to stop. This is where you're going to end. So you're just going to fill this in with this color, and the way that you're going to paint this on is by doing long, smooth strokes. You're not going to press too hard onto the canvas. You're just going to do long strokes straight across in one direction so that it could be easily smooth. It's probably not going to look as nice the first coat, but then you could always add a second coat, because this could just be considered the base coat. You're just going to add it. It's okay if you touch the lines, but make sure that you can see the lines after painting it. So I'm painting around the lines, as you can see. I'm painting around the lines. So that I can be able to see the stencil that I have created for you all. And just so that it's smooth, you're just going to use the same strokes that I'm using, just kind of long. You're not going to do this, because when you do this, then it's going to have that type of texture, and that's not the texture that we want for the background. We want the background to be very smooth. And to be a little bit more abstract, you can do this type of, So what I'll do is up here, I'll leave this like this so you can see how it's going to look. As we get to the bottom, I'm going to do this type of painting so that you could see how it would look. Because it's really up to you how you want it to look. You could have an abstract sky, because this is supposed to represent the sky. So you're just going to fill this in. You could always pause the video. You don't have to fill the sides yet. If you don't want to. But if you do, you can do the same. So I'm just going to go over this top part again. To the thigh area. Make sure that you cut all of the pieces. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, and I'll be right back. You can see I went along and filled in all of the sky. I also filled the top corners, the top as well, and okay, I could cover that up. Great thing about painting. So okay, so I filled the sky in. So this is how your sky should look. I also went along and filled in the sides. And then, made sure that I touched up if I feel like it looks weird. just kind of go over it. It's okay if you touch the lines. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to use other colors to fill that in. So you want to rinse out that paintbrush. And now we're going to go rinse that out with in your cup of water. Rinse it out thoroughly so that there's no more blue on that paintbrush. As you can see, it's less blue on here. And now we're gonna go with the grass. So we're gonna go with our green color and we're gonna add it at the bottom here. And what I want you to do is just kind of fill in the bottom all the way up to where the blue is. So try not to mix it because your blue, I don't know if your blue is dry yet, but just try not to mix it and try not to add too much water to this green because the green is a little bit, opaque, so you would need to do a second coat so that we could really see the green color. But this green is very pretty. It's more like an olive color. So you're just gonna fill it in without touching the tip stencil, without touching the drawing, and without touching the sky completely. If you want to, you could paint the sides for right now. So I'm gonna continue painting crevices. Use the same strokes that I said. So you're just gonna do the same long across there. Just completely filling it. So here you would fill, so like the bottom of your canvas would be green rather than other colors. So this is what you have now. This is what you should have now. If you feel like it's a little chaka, or like chaka is another word, or what I like to use for when you could see the background still, you could still see the white. Then what you would do is you would use this method right here, where I'm using the paintbrush lightly and I'm going straight across the canvas. Just keep the whole bottom part so it could be more smooth, as smooth as you would like it to be. You might have to add a second coat, but it's okay. You have enough. You should have enough painting. I'm using exactly the amount that you are given as well. So this is what you should have. Done. All right, so now you got your sky and you have your green grass. You're gonna rinse out the same paintbrush. Rinse that out or leave that in the cup, and now we're gonna go with our darker colors. So the other paintbrush is gonna be for the darker colors. So the first thing we're gonna go in with is the new paintbrush, the other paintbrush that you haven't used yet, and the color that we're gonna use is the brown. So the brown is for the body. So I know there's a lot of lines here, but what you want to make sure that you do is just that you don't cover the lines. Try not to cover up the lines as much as you can. Even if you make sure that it's visible, that you're able to see it, so that when we go back and trace it with the black paint, you're able to know where the line is or where the indentations were, because that's the really most important thing. So I have this type of brown. That's what I provided you. If you would like color brown, if this is a little bit, then you could always mix it with the black to get that color that you would like. So again, for this brown, you don't want to take too much paint. You want to use a light amount so that it could dry within time, so you're not waiting for it to dry too long. And you're just going to fill in the whole body everywhere. Try not to touch the lines, and trying not to touch too much of the blue so it doesn't mix the colors. Lines here, but you know, you guys got it, you can get it. Just try not to touch the line. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. So you could pause me what I did there. What you should have right now. Kind of filled in. It's okay if you have some little white spaces. We gotta go over it again. But just as you can see, you can still see the lines. So because this is the first coat. So for the second coat, you're not gonna go over the lines, you're gonna go around them, okay? So we're gonna let this dry out a little bit more. And if you use too much paint, it might take a while to dry. So while we're waiting for that to dry, same paintbrush, you're gonna rinse out the brown. And guess what color we're gonna go into? Yup, if you guessed it right, it's not blue. We're gonna go back in, we're gonna go in with the black. So for the black, we want it to have texture. So you're gonna fill your paintbrush up this much, and then you're gonna dip it into the water. You see, it's enough paint on there that it's glistening, but not so much that it's dripping. And then what you're gonna do is, for the texture of the afro, what we're gonna do is you're gonna dab it. So you're gonna dab the edges just as so, all the way around, to give it more of a textured look instead of looking a little bit more flat. Do the same thing, dip the paintbrush into the paint, get a little bit of water, and you're gonna dab. Dab, 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 dab. And you're gonna do that throughout all of the hair. And it's okay if it's like see-through and stuff. Just keep doing the same process. Just dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. So you can have that nice texture of the hair. All the way through. If you feel like the afro is a little too small, you could go all the way through with it. So now, the dabbing technique is you're not dabbing directly like this, you're dabbing sideways. So the paintbrush is still being dabbed this way and not straight, so that you don't mess up the paintbrush. So you're gonna do the same thing, dip the paintbrush into the paint, get some water, it's glistening, and you're just gonna dab. Look at the texture, it's looking beautiful. It's looking very nice so far. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna finish dabbing and I'll come back. I had fun dabbing away. This is the result of the dabbing. Very nice textured hair. I left a little bit of white in there. It's okay, it looks more realistic when there's a little bit more other colors in there. If you wanted to add other colors, you could add a little bit of blue in there. Just kind of dab that in there too. Just a little bit of blue. That's if you want to, just dab that in there too. Boom, add, some green in there. Just if you want to, add a couple of other colors in there. Boom, this is what you have so far. So now we're gonna go back into the brown skin, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse out this black. So make sure you rinse it out completely. There should be no black, because if there's black on there, on the canvas, on the paintbrush, then that's gonna mess up the color of the skin. It's gonna make it darker. It's gonna make it darker, or it's gonna make it look more muddy colored, and that's if you wanted it to be that darker. That's the only time you would add black. So now we're gonna go to this beautiful skin. What we're gonna do is you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna go over the parts that you already went over, but you're gonna use this technique. You're gonna go against the lines, around the lines. You're gonna get paint. You're not gonna add water to this one because you need it to be dark. You don't want it to be see-through. So you're gonna go over the brown, motions. I know there's tight spaces in here, so we're gonna do that. It's okay, we got this. So cool, that's all we're gonna do. Make sure you're not covering the lines this time. You're gonna go around the lines. The second coat is to solidify the color of the skin. So you're not gonna use any more water. You're gonna use only the paint for this one. second layer, and I'm gonna add the second layer also to this green part, and I'm also gonna add another layer to the blue part so that they could all be solid. All right. So I added a second coat to the sky and the grass. They're still drying up a little bit. I didn't add a second coat to this. This, as you can see, is completely dry, and this is a little bit not fully dry, but it's good enough. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna outline the body. So to outline the body, what we're gonna do is you're gonna use the black, of course, and then you want the black. You don't want too much so that it doesn't smudge. And you're gonna add some water to it, to this one. And that's so that it's an easier smooth. So the way that we're going to outline is this technique. You're not gonna do it flat, but you're gonna do it straight. So we're gonna start off with this, just a line right here, another line here. Just gonna outline everything this way. As you can see, the water allows the paintbrush to be, the paint to be a little bit more runny, so it's easier and it glides better. Because I think it's too thick, so I just wiped it on the paintbrush, on the napkin I mean. So we're just gonna outline the best that you can. Using this black, outline the best that you can. It'll be easier, but I think it's probably the hardest part because you gotta have a steady hand, and I honestly do not have a steady hand. So I might just have to go over it a second time. Get the little side hip area right there. Adding paint, so don't be shy. Add a little bit more paint. Buttocks area. Yep, I said buttocks. And you're just gonna swoop it in. There was a line here. Swoop this part in as well. And then make that V right here. Just as the stencil showed us. We're gonna do it here. So if you're having a hard time making straight lines, you could just do this feathered motion. So then it's more straight. So we're gonna add the buttocks here. Well, apple shape, pear shape. Close it out here. It was right here. Bring it up. Whew. Bring it up. Here. So just fill it in as best as you can. Alright, so now we're gonna do the back. Fill the line here. More paint here. L shape, and then there's another L right here. Make sure that you're not using, for when you're getting it to the middle part, use less water, because then if you use water or you go back over it with the paint, it's gonna lift up the paint. make sure it's precise. Basically, you're done. What I want to do is you can add on that same paintbrush that had the black, you're gonna get some, and now we're gonna actually make blades for the glass. So you're gonna actually make the grass blades. And the way you're gonna do it is you're gonna go from here and bring it up. Just kind of bring it up. I know it's black, but that's what I want it, that's what, you know, you want it to look different. So you're gonna have a little bit of black and then some green. Test it out. You're gonna do the black ones, of course, on the green side. Just kind of bring it up. But this is just to give it a little bit more spunk, or a little bit of you know. Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out, bring it out. What's that song called? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Once you're done, you want to make sure that you always do this, which is to sign your artwork. Some birds in the background, or add a cloud, of course, if you have white. Yeah, and you're done. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a blast, and now you have this beautiful masterpiece. You can hang up this thing wherever you would like. If you would like more options and other things, you could always purchase another Paint Night in a Box kit. Thank you.